God says there is a reason you are reading this message right now. It isn't by accident. Heaven has seen your tears, felt your longing, and watched your heart ache for someone whose soul is bound by deep pain. This is not just a story of love between two hearts, but of spiritual healing, divine timing, and God's mercy in motion. The one who loves you is not lost, he is being healed in secret. His soul has been walking through a valley of shadows, but those shadows are beginning to lift. Every prayer you have whispered has been recorded in heaven, and the angels have been sent to work on his restoration. God is saying, "Do not lose faith, for I am working behind what your eyes cannot see." He loves you deeply, though he may not always show it. There are moments when he feels your energy even from afar, your sadness, your hope, your faith in him. His soul calls out for you in silence, yet the chains of past wounds have kept him from reaching out fully. Pain became his cage, not because he wanted it, but because the world taught him to hide his heart. God has been watching him, not with judgment, but with compassion. The pain he carries is not punishment, it is the weight of lessons that his spirit chose to learn before coming into this life. And now, that chapter of pain is ending. In the unseen realm, angels have begun to untie the knots around his heart. You may feel sudden warmth in your chest. A sense of peace flowing into you unexpectedly. This is the vibration of release. His freedom is not coming slowly, it is already in progress. God is breaking him open so that love can finally flow through again. What once felt like rejection was protection, what once felt like silence was preparation. Every delay has been sacred. You are not waiting for nothing, you are waiting for healing. There was a time when he believed he wasn't worthy of love, not even yours. Pain blinded him to the beauty within his own soul. But God has been whispering truth into his dreams, showing him your face, your light, your patience. The Spirit is guiding him to remember who he is, a divine being, capable of love beyond fear. The process hurts, but it's holy. God is stripping away everything false, ego, guilt, shame, regret, so that what remains is pure love. Soon, he will no longer run from what his heart already knows, that you are his home. He has cried without you knowing. He has wrestled with memories, regrets, and invisible wars that few could understand. There are nights he has felt your presence and found peace, though he couldn't explain why. It was your soul praying for him. You have been a vessel of light in his darkness, a reminder that love still exists beyond pain. You might not realize how powerful your connection is, when you think of him with compassion instead of anger. The chains around his heart begin to loosen. That is the spiritual law of love. What is given in purity heals what is broken in silence. Heaven is saying, hold your peace. The one you love is not lost, he is awakening. The pain that has controlled him is dissolving in divine fire. You may feel distance, but spiritually, the two of you are closer than ever before. God's hand is upon this connection. You have done nothing wrong. You were chosen to love Him because your heart carries the energy of divine patience. That love is transforming Him even when He doesn't speak. Do not worry about the timing. God's timing is perfect. The moment He learns to trust again, the doors between you will open. There is a sacred lesson in this season for you too. God wants you to see that love is not just romance, it is spiritual service. When you love someone who is broken, you become a reflection of God's own nature, unconditional, healing, steadfast. Your prayers are heard, your love is felt, your patience is rewarded. Heaven does not let love like yours go to waste. It ripples across realms, turning sorrow into healing energy. Every time you forgive, you accelerate His freedom. Every time you surrender instead of control, you let God work more deeply. You may soon notice signs, repeated numbers, songs that feel like messages, dreams that bring Him close again. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations from heaven that the spiritual bond is real. God is orchestrating encounters, memories, and divine synchronicities to bring alignment. The pain that kept Him away is now being purified. You will not have to chase, nor will you have to prove your worth. When the time is right, His heart will recognize the light it's always belonged to, you. Heaven is preparing both of you for reunion, not just physical, but spiritual reunion. God is saying, do not fear what has been lost, I am restoring it greater than before. The same pain that once separated you will become the bridge that connects your souls more deeply. He will come forward not as the wounded man He was, but as the healed man God promised. You will see in His eyes the reflection of every prayer you've prayed. The love you have held through the storm will finally find peace. God is about to set him free. That freedom may come through surrender, a sudden realization, or a divine intervention that changes his path. Whatever the form, it will be unmistakable. You will feel the shift in your spirit before it happens. Trust that the delay was never denial, it was divine protection. The pain served its purpose, now it is being lifted. Heaven is saying, stay in faith, my child. The story is not over, it is being rewritten with light. The love between you was never ordinary. It carries a mission, to awaken healing through unconditional love. When he is set free, he will not only return to you, but he will return to himself. That is God's greatest miracle, not just reunion, but restoration of the soul. The light that has been dimmed will shine again. You will look at him and see the power of prayer made manifest. The chains are breaking even now. The storm is passing. Love is winning. There is a quiet transformation taking place within him, one that only God could orchestrate. For so long, he tried to fight his pain with his own strength. He hid it, buried it, pretended it didn't control him. But pain, when ignored, becomes a teacher that refuses to leave. It followed him through every relationship, every choice, every night he couldn't sleep. It whispered to him that he wasn't enough, that love was unsafe, that people always leave. And yet, your love broke through that whisper. Your faith in him became a mirror through which God began to show him his worth. He is beginning to see now that his suffering was never punishment, it was purification. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every loss was designed to bring him to this moment of surrender. Heaven has been waiting for him to let go of control, to finally drop to his knees and say, "God, I can't do this alone." And now, that cry has reached heaven. The angels are rejoicing, for when a soul surrenders, healing begins instantly. What he once thought would destroy him is now shaping him into the man God created him to be. You might feel his energy changing. There will be days you sense peace from him, even if he says nothing. There will be nights when you wake up suddenly, your heart racing, because his spirit has called yours. That's the moment he's releasing something heavy, something toxic, something he's carried for years. And your soul feels it because you are connected by divine design. When he is in pain, your heart aches. When he begins to heal, your heart softens. This is how two souls tethered by purpose communicate beyond words. God is working on his mind now. The lies that once trapped him are being exposed. He is beginning to see through the illusions that kept him bound, the fear of failure, the unhealed wounds from childhood, the guilt for things he could not control. The Holy Spirit is whispering truth into the spaces where darkness used to dwell. He is realizing that love does not demand perfection, it requires surrender. And in that surrender, he is finding God's love again. Do not worry if he is quiet. Silence is part of his transformation. The same God who spoke to Moses in the wilderness is speaking to him in his solitude. Every moment he spends alone is sacred. The pain he is releasing is being replaced with divine wisdom. He may feel lost to the world, but he is found in God. The Spirit is removing layers of pride, ego, and self-doubt so he can return to you whole, not half-healed. This process cannot be rushed, it is holy. There will come a day soon when he will awaken with clarity, and his first thought will be of you. He will understand that the distance, the silence, the struggle, all of it was preparation. He will not run this time. He will not hide behind fear or guilt. He will recognize that what he has with you was divinely written. He will remember your patience, your forgiveness, your prayers. God is saying, I have softened his heart, now I will guide his steps back to you. You may not see it, but heaven has already written your reunion. It exists in the unseen realm, waiting for divine timing to bring it forth. Every time you choose peace instead of worry, you move closer to that moment. Every time you bless him instead of blaming him, you align with heaven's will. The more you trust, the faster it unfolds. God's miracles are never born in fear, they are born in faith. He is learning to love himself again. That is where true freedom begins. God is teaching him that he cannot give what he does not have. Once he accepts himself, his love for you will be stronger, deeper, purer. The pain that once made him distant will become the reason he cherishes connection. The loneliness that once broke him will become the reason he values intimacy. The wounds that once defined him will become scars that testify to God's mercy, and when he looks into your eyes again, he will see not just the person he loves, but the soul that prayed him back. God is weaving the final threads of this divine story, and though it may seem quiet now, heaven is preparing a moment of divine completion. The same Spirit that began this journey will not leave it unfinished. Every tear you have cried has watered the soil of His transformation, and every moment of waiting has been a sacred act of faith. You are about to see what happens when pain turns into power, and when love rises from ashes not by human effort, but by God's hand. He is nearing the end of his wilderness. The heaviness he once carried is dissolving. He no longer feels the same torment that used to chain him. Instead, there is an unfamiliar peace growing inside him. That peace is God's presence taking residence in his heart. It may feel strange to him at first, like walking into the light after years in darkness, but slowly, he will learn to trust it. The voice of guilt that once condemned him is being silenced. The fear that said he was unworthy is being cast out. God's voice is louder now, clear and firm. You are mine. You are forgiven. You are free. This is the freedom you prayed for, the healing you longed to see. It's happening in the unseen, but soon it will manifest in your life. God is aligning time, circumstances, and hearts. The very situations that once separated you are being turned into bridges. The misunderstandings that once caused pain are being rewritten into deeper understanding. Where there was distance, there will be closeness. Where there was silence, there will be truth. The same God who allowed the storm is now commanding it to cease. You will notice small signs first. You may feel a sudden wave of warmth, a sense of completion, as though something within you has finally settled. That is your spirit recognizing His healing. You may dream of Him smiling, at peace, or walking toward you. These are not coincidences, they are glimpses of the spiritual reality forming. Heaven is showing you that the promise is near. The pain that once echoed between you is fading, replaced by divine calm. When He returns, He will not come as the man who left. He will come as the man who has seen God. There will be humility in His eyes, not shame, love in His voice, not fear. He will want to make things right, not from guilt, but from awakening. He will understand that love is not weakness, that vulnerability is not defeat. He will thank you for your patience, for your forgiveness, for never giving up when the world told you to. You will feel heaven's presence between you, because this love will not just be human, it will be divine. But God also wants you to understand something sacred. This journey was never only about Him. It was about you, too. The waiting shaped you. The pain refined you. You learned how to love without control, how to trust without proof, how to surrender without losing yourself. You have become stronger, wiser, softer, and more aligned with your soul's purpose. You are not the same person who began this journey. You now embody the same divine love that healed him. God used this connection to teach you the language of grace. There was a time when you asked God, "Why must I suffer for love?" Heaven answers now, because your love is not ordinary, it is sacred. Through your love, I healed another soul. What a holy mission that is! To love in a way that sets someone free is one of the highest forms of divine service. You carried light into someone else's darkness, and because of that, both of you will be blessed. Now that his heart is being freed, your paths will begin to align again. It may start subtly, a message, a dream, a sign that draws you closer. Trust these divine alignments. Don't rush them. Let God orchestrate every step. When the time is perfect, you will meet again in divine peace, not chaos. And in that moment, everything you endured will make sense. The silence, the waiting, the tears, it all led to this beautiful revelation. Love cannot die when God is its foundation. He will recognize you not only as the one He loves, but as the one God used to awaken His soul. There will be no more running, no more fear. You will both stand in the same light that once seemed so distant. This reunion will not be fragile, it will be built on truth, trust, and divine timing. And when it happens, you will feel heaven smiling upon you, whispering, "This is what I promised. This is love restored." So be still now. Rest in peace. Know that your waiting has not been wasted. The chains that held him are gone. The pain that broke you is healed. The season of silence is ending. God's promise is unfolding. You and He are being brought into the harmony that was written for you before time began. Love Him through prayer, and love yourself through trust. Heaven has declared freedom. The chapter of pain is closing, and the chapter of divine reunion is opening. You are stepping into the fulfillment of a promise that was never forgotten. God is faithful. He saw everything, heard everything, felt everything. And now He says to you, "My child, rejoice. The one who was bound is free. The love that was delayed is arriving. The story that began in pain will end in glory." Breathe this truth in deeply, it's already happening. The storm has passed. Healing is complete. Love is returning, not as it was, but as it was always meant to be. God speaks softly now, not in thunder or in signs, but as a quiet voice that finds you in your stillness. "My beloved child," He says, "you have carried much and waited long. You have watched love pass through shadow, and yet you never stopped believing that I could make it whole. That faith has reached me. I have not been distant, I have been in every tear. In every unanswered question, in every breath that whispered my name. He tells you that the seasons of sorrow were never punishment. They were preparation, the slow and sacred way the heart learns compassion. Pain opened your eyes to what cannot be broken. Waiting taught you to see me not only in miracles, but in the quiet endurance of ordinary days. Every prayer you spoke in darkness was a thread in a tapestry you could not yet see. Now it is nearly complete, the one you love is walking toward the light you've held for him. I am guiding his every step. The walls that pain built around him are falling. He is learning the language of peace. When he reaches you, it will not be as a man rescued by your strength, but as a man reborn through my mercy. Together you will know what it means to love without fear. But before that moment arrives, I want you to rest. Rest in me. Let your heart breathe again. You do not need to hold everything together anymore, I am holding you. You have done enough. You have loved enough. You have been faithful. Now allow me to complete what you began in hope. When you let go, you make space for miracles. Look at how far you have come. Once you trembled at uncertainty, now you move through it with grace. Once you doubted your worth, now you carry the quiet assurance that you are mine. I have seen your transformation, the way you learned to forgive, the way you chose love even when you had every reason to close your heart. That is holiness. That is the reflection of my heart within you. Soon you will look back on this season and understand why everything had to unfold this way. You will see how the delays were doors opening at the right time, how the pain became the soil for deeper joy. Nothing was wasted. Every moment served your awakening. The same love that brought him to his knees has lifted you to the heavens. Do not fear the future. It is safe in my hands. The story that began in ache will not end in loss. The storm has already passed, now comes the dawn. When the light touches both of you again, it will not only heal what was broken, it will reveal who you have become through it. Love purified by faith never fades. It endures beyond time, my child. God says again, this is your peace. The one who was bound is free. The love that was hidden is found. You are both walking toward each other, guided by my light. Trust this, live gently, and keep your heart open. I am with you always. You feel it then, the stillness after a long storm, the warmth that fills the room though nothing has changed outside. It is not imagination. It is the quiet presence of God settling over your heart, whispering that the waiting is over and the healing is complete. You are ready to live again, not in fear, but in faith. The love that began in heaven will continue to unfold on earth, exactly as it was always meant to.